Shalom Israel. First and foremost, I do give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem HaKadosh, the born to the apostles, and that was great millstone for teaching us this truth, peace, and blessings to the hope like Rizal. Yahweh is the name of, and finally in Hebrew, by Hashem is the name, and Yahushua is the name of the begotten Son. Back on the lesson, and today you're going to be going to this Texas Roadhouse situation, where you have things coming out about a Facebook group of over 400,000 to 600,000, which another guy said 600, another dude said 400, but however much, hundreds of thousands of people in a Facebook group, pretty much talking about how they spit in Jake's food and all these things that they do, and how they're pretty much in an agreement to do said things. As you can see in a couple of these posts, as with an article I got, which you already have this devil doing damage control, sweeping it under the rug, saying the post was a hoax. But yeah, it's not something that has not been seen before, something like this, which you also see, for example, with Cracker Barrel. You have a lot of stuff coming out dealing with that, how workers are racist and all sorts of stuff. The Campbell soup situation, where you had one of the CEOs come out and said all sorts of stuff, called Jake poor and all that stuff. But I'm gonna get into a couple of these videos, and then like I said, get into that article and a couple scriptures. Lord, let's be edifying. Let's dive into it.
There's a group chat with over 400,000 racist people claiming that they are tampering with black people's foods when we go to restaurants. And the restaurants they mention, Texas Roadhouse or Logan's. And I'm quite sure it's way more than that. And people say racism still don't exist. At this point, the best thing to do is stay out those restaurants.
And that's another point when we push with the lesson is, this devil's hatred is evident, it's clear. And Jake is going to learn the hard way, as they are now, but on a much more, grander scale, for lack of better words, in the last days, that this devil doesn't like you one bit. And his true colors, his horns are beginning to show.
Cook your own food. Matter of fact, look at this shit. Listen.
This shit ain't funny. I have a message for y'all today, and it's from a Facebook group called...
And it says, we are constantly being targeted. And Jake is the focal point of all these attacks.
White and Proud. And this is a message that white servers have for black people. So I'm going to read it for y'all, crazy, just so I can spread awareness. But anyways, it says, to all you blacks in here, keep this in mind. Hope you enjoy your next meal next time you eat out. There is a Facebook group that I am a part of, which is this one that I'm reading from, and it is for white servers. We have come up with a plan. When a table of black diners come in and place their orders, we walk back to the kitchen to get your food when ready. There is always a blind spot in the kitchen, and we are licking our fingers and touching your food.
This shit
if
is
it happens
crazy,
to
man.
be at Texas Roadhouse or Logan's, those rolls are full of our white saliva. Some of the cooks are in on this too. Think they are playing? They aren't. Believe me, this has been going on since y'all started this nonsense with Carmelo, the candy bar Anthony crap. By the way, the group has over 400K members. Enjoy y'all's food.
Then Texas Roadhouse put out a statement acting like people was lying. Read it. I'm not saying shit they said. After that statement, they put out this statement. Once shit got hot and they understood that people wasn't playing. Here we go. Read it. Again, I'm not saying shit they said. Now listen to this last video.
Can y'all tell me why there's 400,000 people in a group, a racist group, that is going around, and when black families or black people come into their restaurants, and they're the servers, and they're the white servers, they're all working together and going to the back and bringing your food out, but it's not coming out regular. They're putting their saliva in your food. They are putting their saliva and whatever else that they want to put in y'all's food.
I guess it's safe to say that we're done with Texas Roadhouse, right? And Logan's, right? We better be done.
My God, today, Texas Roadhouse? You mean to tell me that you guys didn't know about a 600,000 member secret chat room on Facebook Messenger? It was a secret group that was talking about how they treat black and brown customers in these restaurants. Look, there was several restaurants that were mentioned. I did a little internet search just maybe for 5 or 10 minutes, and it disgusted me. Look, I've been a chef for over 20 years, and I don't work in these big franchise corporate restaurants because, number one, big money don't come clean and clean money don't come big. And a lot of these local restaurants that we don't want to go into because they're not Texas Roadhouse and they don't have these good rolls. Can you believe what I read? These people were talking about licking their fingers and grabbing the rolls, spitting in their food if they're black and brown. Folks, I'm going to tell you, racism runs rampant in these huge franchise restaurants, and there's only one way to combat it. Eat local. Eat mom and pops. Stop going to these huge...
On Wednesday, a woman said her family found staples baked into the bread they received at the Texas Roadhouse in Walpole. The social media post included images of the impacted food.
And mid-bite, my sister's like, ow, like there's something hard in here. So my mom takes the bun to inspect it. We open the bun to find staples. We find staples, like, baked into the bread.
Wow, that is so interesting. I am sure, though, that this one instance has absolutely nothing to do with the one Facebook user who posted in the one Facebook group that's filled with over 400,000 non-melanated folks who are...
And there you go. Like I said, now they're trying to, say that post is a hoax. Texas Roadhouse responds to claim employees tampered with black customers' food. It says these diners have got major beef with the steakhouse. The beef behemoth is facing growing boycott calls after TikTok went viral in a Facebook group called White and Proud was targeting black customers. The TikTok posted by user Sani Yene read aloud that the white servers were deliberately contaminating food. The user said the Facebook group had over 400,000 members, where white servers discussed heading back to kitchens, blind spot, licking their fingers, touching food, and spitting on rolls ordered by black diners, according to claim, which we just played in a couple of videos. This one right here. Alright, I'm back. Phone ran out of storage, so I stopped the recording, but getting back to it, jump into the scriptures. Jeremiah 37, last for the day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And I got the scripture right here to go show that, push that point across of, who, showing who the target is, who the focal point of these attacks are on all levels. Jake, Israel, the 12 tribes. As you're seeing right here, dealing with over 400,000 plus members in a Facebook group post, or a group chat, or group, or what do you want to call it, which I'm talking about the things that they do to Jake customers, and spitting the food and putting their fingers in the bread. And I saw in that one video we got dealt with the staples that they put into the bread. And this is one example. Also brought up the point dealing with Cracker Barrel. You got a lot of things coming out dealing with that, how they feel and the way they treat Jake. And like I said, when I say Jake, speaking of Israel, the 12 tribes, so just our people as a whole. Our people are hated, on all levels. So when I get this part right here, it's even the time of Jacob's trouble. So the time of our trouble, and really specifically for the wicked, for our people. But those in his faith and his truth will also be tried, will be tested. Let's see right here, but he should be saved out of it. Like I said, it's got that point to further push that point across of going to show who the target is, us. Psalms 83 and 2 through 8. And it said, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let's cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So you have these nations pretty much came together to go against us. Now verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent. They were in agreement. So they are confederate against thee. And list off, our enemies, the tabernacles of Edom. So white people today, the Ishmaelites, your Arabs, of Moab, the Chinese, and the list goes on. Ezekiel 35 and 5 says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children by the force of the sword, and the time of their calamity, and the time that the iniquity had an end. So dealing with that point, dealing with this perpetual hatred this devil has towards our people, and you see it. It's becoming a lot more evident. It's becoming a lot more clear to a lot of our people that this devil doesn't like you one bit. And that should have been, crystal clear by now. Especially looking throughout history of all the things our people have been through, the atrocities that was committed, the great rob and murder, the bloodshed that was spilt. You would think, Jake would, come to understand this devil doesn't like you. But they want to believe he has changed his ways. He's different. But I mean, look at the videos we got. Over 400,000 plus people, within that group. And like that's just one example of this hatred the devil has towards us. This is Psalm 17:13. You also had I came across a post earlier of Target, removing a Halloween costume of. I forget exactly. Let's see if I can get that real quick. Target costume pulled. See, and this was the costume that was supposed to be, this especially hurtful for our Black guest team members and partners. And this is the post that costume they pulled. So the hatred is there. I mean, come on. And I'm sure you see the comparisons. This is what I was, speaking on right here. Hey, this devil's gonna get it, bro. But let's get into these last couple of scriptures. Psalm 17:13 says, "The right of the Lord disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword." Who's that wicked? Speaking of Esau, Malachi 1:4 goes into it. Job 9:24, how the world is the hand of the wicked. Who's the wicked? Esau, Edom. Showing you who's in power today. But the right of the Lord disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Come and look at the things this devil is doing. Spitting in our food, putting their fingers, staples into it. I mean, even on a much more grander scale, look what this devil's doing. Poison in the air, putting, all these terrible things within the food, which damages our body. Water, we're not having its proper minerals and basic things that your body needs. Confusion, wickedness all around. This place got to go. And this right here just adding, more sprinkles on top of the mix. Going straight, the devil don't like you one bit. Once again, that should be evident. Should be clear by now. A group of over 400,000 plus members. And these Texas Roadhouse, people don't know about it, supposedly. Come on. It's Ecclesiastes 12:10. And you saw how, proud the person was that made the post. I'm like, this is what we're doing to your food. So enjoy. He doesn't get what's coming to him. This is Ecclesiastes 12:10. It says, never trust an enemy. I feel like his iron rested, so is his wickedness. So he's not to be trusted in any case. 2 Thessalonians 2:3. I'll get the King James and I'll get another translation and we'll shut it down from there. It says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except the coming fall away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. That man of sin is being revealed. Don't be fooled by what they say, for that day will not come until the great rebellion against the Most High, and the man of lawlessness is revealed, the one who brings destruction. And you get in the scriptures, how the devil is destroying this earth. You get that in I want to say 11th chapter, but going to destroy him which destroyed the earth. Who's destroying the earth? Esau, But that's the point right there. We'll make a somewhat quick lesson dealing with that situation as to what's happening with Texas Roadhouse. Brought up that post right there with Target. And that's not the first time, something like that has happened dealing with Target also. They've been called out on multiple occasions for being, racist. But that's, one example right there. But that's it right there. Those are the edifying without. Give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bashem, El Shaddai, Bashem, Dash, and Shalom. See you next one. Lord's will.